Are you an empath? Hello, friend. Welcome back to the Finding Freedom podcast, where we talk about how to feel more calm, connected, heart-centered, grateful, abundant, and empowered so you can find true freedom and create the life you are meant to be living. Today, I'm going to be talking all things empath, what an empath is, how to identify one, and why empaths are so important in the world. Now, while labels are not something I like to promote because I believe they can cause us to put ourselves in a box and even limit ourselves, my intention with today's discussion about being an empath is to do the opposite. It's to bring to light how important it is that we acknowledge sensitive people in the world. And if you're one, which you probably are, seeing you clicked on the link to check out this podcast, then I hope you feel that intention. I also want you to feel expanded in the knowledge of you being an empath. I want you to feel like being an empath is a beautiful, beautiful thing, because it is, and to not hide or run away from it. So I'm an empath, of course, and it has caused me a lot of difficulty my whole life because I've always thought that allowing people to see my emotions was a weakness, that it made me vulnerable, and of course that vulnerability is not safe. But as Brené Brown quotes, vulnerability is the birthplace of innovation, creativity, and change. So once you own your vulnerability, you own your strength, you own your power. And it does take time and practice, but I think it's really important for us to step into that. And that's what I have tried to do by allowing people to see my emotions and feel the vulnerability that I'm feeling in that moment as I express them. But now I know that being vulnerable can be a beautiful thing, because if you can model to another person how in touch you are with your emotions, how open you are to feel them, and allow them to pass through you, then you'll likely inspire the people around you to do the same, whether they are empaths or not. Because as you may or may not know, stuffing our emotions down does not do us any good. In fact, it puts us in a state of dis-ease. Yes, you heard that correctly. Stuffing our emotions down can cause and does cause a lot of illness in the physical body. In fact, this illness is the body's way of communicating to us to listen. It's your body's cry for help. You also likely know how cathartic it feels to have a good cry. And if you're an empath and you have a lot of emotion, then you'll know how much better you feel when you let it flow when it comes up. I used to be so embarrassed to cry in front of people and to let people see my emotion, especially when working with clients or doing breathwork sessions. But I would just feel a lot, and I still feel a lot. And sometimes without any warning, all of a sudden, I just start feeling a lot of emotion. I don't know why I'm feeling the emotion. I sometimes don't understand what's triggered it, but I find myself crying. The difference is it doesn't bother me anymore. So I'm not afraid to let a client see me cry or to share that with someone now. I figure if there's emotion and it's coming up, it's better to let it out than to hold it in, because I know what it does if I hold it in, and it's not really being true to myself. And from that perspective, I can then start to view it as a superpower. And if I can view it as a superpower, then hopefully others will too. So when you embrace being an empath, if you are one, or if you embrace and accept a person in your life who is particularly sensitive and feels a lot, you will see how this helps you or them to feel more free in life because you're expressing yourself or you're allowing others to express themselves. This ability to express also may resolve certain illnesses or allergies or reactions that you have in your heart and throat regions as you allow these unblockages to heal. I know I've been to Dr. Joe Dispenza's week-long retreat, and there's just so much healing that happens when people allow that energy to move through them. They allow themselves to express and to let go of what they've been holding on to for so long. And ultimately, this changes who you are. You step more into your power, you step more into your true self. But I will add one final thing before I allow this discussion to unfold a little more deeply. And that is a reminder that I released a program that's perfect for the empaths out there. Of course, it's great for anyone, but particularly for our empaths. It's called the Ho'oponopono Inspired Breathwork. It's a 4-week transformational journey for you to explore your breath alongside the most powerful healing mantras that exist. Those 4 simple phrases of the Ho'oponopono. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you. When you explore these mantras and allow your breath to move the energy alongside these words, you open yourself up to create some really positive and permanent change. So if you've got a lot of emotional charge ready to discharge, this program will really help you to move this energy. Also, if you're seeking to really forgive and find more gratitude, peace, love, and joy, this program is really going to help you get there. There's just so much power in these tracks, and I know you'll experience it and love how you feel afterwards. The link for the program is in the show notes, so please check it out if you're interested. It's only $144, and that's in Australian dollars. So if you're anywhere else, you'll probably get it cheaper. So it's super affordable for a month-long program that you can do in the comfort of your own home. So when you're ready, please do check it out. I know you, my empath friend, will really love the opportunity to create some new space within you so you can transform who you are from the inside out. And without further ado, let's get to this week's episode all about being an empath.
So firstly, what is an empath? Someone who is extra sensitive to energy and emotions. Someone who seems to know what other people are feeling, even if that person won't admit it. If you have ever walked in a room and felt the energy in that room, then you're likely an empath. Now, just to be clear, this is not empathy. This is when a person can actually feel or sense the emotion being felt by other people. It's that heightened awareness of the emotion. And an emotion is simply energy in motion. This also means that you are highly intuitive. You're also highly creative and have a wonderful imagination. Empaths are often also drawn to helping others. It might just be part of who they are. People know them as helpers. However, they may also be drawn to work or career paths that involve healing, teaching, or giving back in some way. If you're an empath, you're also likely to be a free spirit. So you don't really like rules and restrictions imposed on you. You really thrive when you can just do your thing and create. You're also good at listening. So you probably find that others open up to you quite a bit without you even inviting them to do so. If you cry a lot when you see other people emotional, you're probably an empath. If you can't watch TV shows or movies where there's a lot of violence or cruelty, you're likely an empath. If someone gets sick around you in your home, you may also get sick as you're taking on this energy as well, and that would make you an empath. You also likely have a lot of compassion for the underdog. You just have that extra sense of compassion for people, particularly those who are suffering. The one thing that is really important if you are an empath is that you need to have emotional boundaries. And we often are not taught how to have emotional boundaries. I recall when I was working as a nutritional therapist, not having these boundaries in place. And when I'd work with clients afterwards, I'd need to lay down or go for a walk out in nature or do some exercise to move the energy that I'd taken on from that person. That's what typically empaths do. They take on that energy if they don't have the boundaries up. So you really need to get some good energetic boundaries and ways of moving that energy in the case that your boundary isn't strong enough, because it can leave you quite exhausted and makes living life quite hard. So recharging in your own space is really important, and grounding is really important. So this leads me to the message of this email today. If you're an empath or you live with an empath, then this sensitive soul of yours needs extra attention and the love. As I said, you need strong boundaries. You need to take care of yourself, which can often go against being an empath because we often think it's selfish to prioritize our needs. Again, we just weren't taught this. So as the world is rapidly transforming, as more and more humans wake up, you're feeling that, right? How are you caring for the empath in you? This is where your daily practice is vital. Now, while there's a choice for every single individual to practice self-care, the empath has an extra necessity for these daily practices. They're all the ones that I work with and that I teach in my one-on-one coaching program. Breath work. We got to move and release that extra tension, stress, and emotions that you're holding on to, whether they're yours or from other people. Meditation, we've got to still the mind. Journaling, that's another form of release and processing. Empaths are fairly creative, so this will be a good outlet. Empaths often like to write. Affirmations, you've got to create ways of thinking and feeling that serve you. So remember that being an empath is your superpower. This is not a weakness, my friend. This is something that you should absolutely be proud of and work to make it as strong as you can, because everything we do involves being with other people. So this is where you use your superpower, because you're able to connect with people in a way that other people can't. You can manage people and the situations around you with so much more ease. You'll also be able to work more closely with people because you feel more connected to them. Your emotional intelligence is high. But as I said, being balanced is also key. So do those things that I mentioned earlier to help you maintain your balance. Do them daily and you will for sure feel supported and see a shift in your overall energy. And when you want specific guidance, I'll be here to support you through what's coming up for you. So much love. Thank you for listening, and take care, my empath friend. We need you in this world. Much love.